Hello and welcome back to another TFT video. I've got a super fun gameplay here for you guys today. Today we're going to be going Infiltrator Kale. Now, Kale is one of my favorite units in set 3. I think she's super strong and can be used in so many different comps effectively. And here in this video, you're going to see just the entire composition of our team is just going to revolve around this Kale. Initially, starting off, we are going to be picking up the bow right away with the poppy. Early rounds, pretty simple. Just gonna go for whatever items, units you can get. So not a whole lot here. We are gonna be picking up the pairs that we can find. Doesn't really matter what we can get, just as long as it's pairs. We want to hit those 2-star units. There's really nothing else to go for at this point. We kind of have poor items in the beginning here and not great units either, so it is a little bit open for interpretation what we can be going here in the future for this game. There really isn't any particular build that it looks like we are going to be able to go right away, and we just don't know what we're going to do in this game. So staying open, staying ready to transition into whatever build you can get is very key, especially in these important games. You really want to be adaptable and be able to just build whatever you can. As you can see here, we are picking up chronos, we're picking up blasters. We do have a bow, we do have a tier, not items that like we can really make our final items with. There aren't super. Some of the better items require swords to make, so we don't have any swords, so we can't do that, which is unfortunate, but we are going to just do what we can. So we are going to put in the Ezreal, we're going to put in the Lucian, get the blaster buff. I think blasters are very strong, but that is only if you get the right items, which unfortunately we don't really seem to have right now. You really need a red buff, you really need Giant Slayer. Those items are just key for the blasters. And here on the carousel, you can't really see it because it's sped up, but I actually lagged and I accidentally picked up the sparring glove, which is just so unfortunate. I wanted basically any other item on the carousel would have been better, and I was actually really upset about that. Huge mistake, although it wasn't really my fault. I swear I really had like 200 ping for a second there and accidentally picked up the Sona, but it is all right. We take what is given to us, and we're going to make the Hand of Justice just so that we're not totally losing these rounds, so that we at least have some strong units. And Lucian is able to carry us in these early rounds. Hand of Justice, a very strong item. We are also going to pick up a random 2-star Darius, just kind of out of nowhere. It doesn't really fit into our comp that well, but Darius is a pretty good unit, in my opinion, especially since he got buffed. I think he has a slight mana reduction on his ultimate. And here is where we can transition into our build. So we are going to pick up the Spatula. Then you could go Dark Star, we could go Protector, but the thing I'm looking at is Infiltrator, and that's really what I'm going to want to do. And we are going to pick up the early Kale. So this is going to be our initial power spike. We have only lost 1 round so far, so it's not like we were in a bad position at all. We just have tons of 2-cost units. We do already have a 2-star Ezreal, and we're very powerful right now. I'm not switching out my Lucian yet because I do like the blaster buff, and if we do lose rounds, then I will probably switch in the Kale, but I want to maintain my win streak and be as powerful as I can be currently. I even have a 2-star Darius just sitting on my bench. So we do pick up the Kai'Sa, which is a good sign to switch to Valkyries. Valkyries are just so powerful, and the synergy with Kale, with Infiltrator, and Kai'Sa is just so good. Kale's going to be carrying us, doing so much damage. Here there's another Kale with a tier, which is just so optimal for us. Unfortunately, we don't pick it up. It gets taken. But if we were 1 pick earlier, we might have had a chance at picking up that Kale, which would have been pretty insane. So you're also going to pick up some bows, or a bow, from the carousel. And that is something that you can run on Kale. Kale likes bows. The best, I would say. Hand of Justice is definitely a very good item on her as well. And here in this game, we're actually going to be going for the double hand of justice onto the Kayle, which can be so powerful. She just pumps out so much damage. She has healing, she has mana, so she can ult like right away. It's just, I think it's honestly very nice if you don't get a more traditional Kayle items, such as like rapid fire cannon, GA, Infinity Edge, like those kinds of things. If you're just not getting swords, if you're not getting many bows, then sometimes you just got to go double hand of justice. And I think maybe this is where we pick up the second tier. Kayle is going to be jumping to the back, and we do pick up a second tier here, and that is what we're going to be going, is double hand of justice. We could have made Runins, but I prefer double hand. We are also going to make a Zephyr here, and we are going to sell some units to make some Econ. We are going to finally put in our 4 Infiltrators, which is another huge power spike. It basically just gives Kayle like a permanent 90% attack speed buff, which is just crazy. Because every time she gets a shutdown, a takedown of some sort, a kill, an assist, she will refresh that 90% attack speed buff and just be able to pump out the damage. So strong. As you can see on the damage chart, she's doing like 80% of the damage of the team. So very powerful here. She is pretty susceptible to other infiltrators, but luckily for us, not many people are going infiltrators. Here you can see up against some rebels, she just jumps on the backline and can do so much AoE. Kayle very powerful against those rebels because they are clumped up. And that is just how you play rebels. And she has lots of AoE, so that's very good. Here on the final carousel, we are going to go for the Chain Vest. Not a bad item. We will pick that up for sure. Not mad about that one at all. We're going to sell all of our 4-cost units. We were buying those to look for more Kayles so we could upgrade, and we are going to level up the last second and put in a 5th Infiltrator, actually, which is the Fizz. We do just barely win that round, but just barely is still a win, so feeling good about that one. We are going to sell our Kha'Zix and put in the Karma for the Darkstar buff on the Shaco. It's not super important, but Karma also is good for attack speed on the Kayle, and we are able to win that round as well, so still in a pretty good spot. We do hit the tier 2 Shaco, which is pretty nice. We're picking up just any 4-cost unit we get on the bench just so that we have higher chances of hitting these Kayles, because we really need to hit the Kayle upgrade. Kayle 2 is very important for our comp. We just really need to hit the Kayles, and Kayle is pretty contested in this lobby. There are a few other people going Kayle, but we do finally hit one, and we will use our Nico onto the Kayle just to get that Kayle 2, because that's just such a huge upgrade. That's almost all of our damage, and getting level 2 just makes her more tanky, and it makes her do more damage with her ultimate, more damage on her autos, just very good all around. We're also going to pick up the Jace so that we can maintain our pirate, space pirate buff, which has gotten us a small amount of money over the course of this game, so it's pretty nice to keep in. It is a 2-cost unit, but we could easily replace that with something else if needed. So here you can see our build has just been so random this entire game. We've gone blasters, we had vanguards, still vanguards, we have space pirates, 4 infiltrators, just so many different shifts here in our composition. We have Darkstar, and which we now got rid of. We still have our Karma on the bench, but we're picking up 2 A-Souls here. We could be going so many different things, so many different options for our build, and I think that is something to really be focusing on here, because we could be going mech pilot if we wanted to, but we're not going to pick up the rumbles because I think mech pilot infiltrator's kind of OP right now. One of the best builds. Here, I think we may actually be losing this one to the 6 cybernetics guy. He does have a tier 2 Echo, which is very powerful. Not expecting to beat that one right now. We are going to need to hit a couple more upgrades on our units and some more items as well. Now, lots of huge items on this carousel getting picked up, which is so unfortunate for us that we had to be last pick. We could have any of those items that the other players picked up would have been so nice for us on basically any of our units, but we are going to have to settle for the Locket, which Locket isn't awful. Here I'm just scouting the other players. If you saw that when I was just scrolling through really quick, and as you can see, we're up against the Blitzcrank. I was going to move my Darius up to the front line to get the Locket buff, but then I saw the Blitzcrank in that position, so I had to keep him to the left, or else our Kayle would get pulled like she just did right there, and we probably would have lost this round if we don't actually... Do we lose this round? No, I think we win this. But we definitely would have lost much more convincingly if we had not kept the Darius in the back line there. So something to be wary about. You always got to watch out for those Blitzcranks, especially if you have one unit that's your primary carry in the build, especially on the back line, because Blitzcranks can really snipe you. We do pick up the Wukong and hit level 9, so we now have 4 Vanguards, 4 Infiltrators, 2 Valkyries, and Space Pirates. So we do just have kind of a random Darius in there. Our Space Pirates aren't even doing that much damage. I don't think they're really making us that much gold at this point. But I do like the concept of going Space Pirates, and we are very, very healthy at this point, so it's really not a detriment to our team right now. So here you can see we're already top 4. One guy's on 6 health. Another guy is on single digits health as well. And we are going to be hitting a Bramble Vest on the Kayn, which is a pretty solid item for us. We are going Vanguard, so we already do have a lot of armor, but that can just make someone else also very, very tanky in terms of physical damage. We are going to pick up an MF, but it doesn't really fit into our comp. We could switch out the Darius here, but I do kind of decide against it, and I think I do sell her right there. We have also picked up a second tier 2 Kayle, so we definitely have a very good chance of hitting the tier 3 Kayle here. We are level 9, we have 50 gold, 70 health. We're just in a very, very good spot here. But as you can see, up against this Mystic Vanguard player, we actually are having a bit of trouble. Our Kayle was not able to get a reset, and she lost her attack speed buff, and she wasn't really able to pump out that much damage, and which is a little bit unfortunate because we really do want to be winning these rounds. So we are going to pick up another Kayle and another Kayle, and just before the round starts, we are going to hit the tier 3 Kayle, which is just a massive power spike up against the exact same guy. The only other thing that changed was putting in the Echo, but I don't think Echo really does that much in this game. But here you can see our Kayle just one-shots everybody, even the tanky Vanguards with Mystic buff that are just so tanky. Kayle is able to just pump out the damage. Kayle 3, 10k damage against Vanguard Mystic with all their resistances. Super strong. Super fun to get that. We are going to pick up the tier 2 Echo as well as the tier 2 Gangplank. We didn't actually use our Bramble Vest last time, so we are going to put that onto, because we were saving it for the Gangplank, to be honest. So we are going to put that onto the Gangplank and just make him that much more tanky. Kayle just one-shots the Echo before he can even ult. She does so much damage, 14,000 damage, almost 15,000. And here there's actually another Infiltrator buff, which I was really contemplating going for, but I decide that a Seraph's is just too strong here on the Gangplank, as well as a double Bramble Vest. Our opponent only has 1 health. He's going 6 Cybernetics. We have 4 Infiltrators, 4 Space Pirates, Valkyrie, Mercenary, Vanguard. Just a super random build. And it's actually very, very close here, but our Echo is able to pump out a little bit of extra damage, and our Kayle is able to clean up the game, and we're able to put that guy in the dirt with our tier 3 Kayle. Infiltrator Kayle, Double Hand of Justice, super fun build. This is a super fun game for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Make sure you like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.